City of the Orphans, Chapter 10. Arrested? What do you mean? Mama struggles to speak. They put her in that jail. The one over by City Hall. The Tombs? Cries Max. Mama bobs her head and smears tears from her face with the heels of her small red hands. But why? Max says, slamming the front door to keep the news inside. Mama says, a policeman was just here. He said that. She takes a breath. Emma stole a watch. Max's mouth wide open. Can't believe what he's hearing. At her hotel, Mom explains, with a frantic gesture. They arrested her. Emma would never steal, says Max. She wouldn't. The policeman says she did. Mama's voice is miserable, her face pinched. They don't lie. Yes, they do. Max is upset. He's almost choking. Shoving aside his younger brothers, Eric, Jacob, and Riker, he takes Mama's arm and leads her to one of the three chairs by the kitchen table. You better sit. Mama sits and uses her white apron to wipe away her tears. It's terrible, she says, as much to herself as anyone in the room. Feitlig, she adds in Danish. Max, not sure what to do, stands over her. His brothers, frightened, stay huddled in a corner, staring at him and Mama. Does Papa know? Max says. Does Agnes? Not home from work. Tell me what happened. The politiker said. She shakes her head. The policeman. Don't care what the policeman said. Max shouts. He heads to the door. Gonna get her. Mama, her face blotchy, looks up. You can't. Not till morning. Max's hand on the doorknob says, Why? The policeman said the prison's locked. Won't open until morning. Said she'll stay there lest she has a lawyer. What's a lawyer gonna do? I don't know, Mama shouts, bursting into full tears. Then I'm getting a lawyer, Max says, pulling the door open while trying to remember where he's seen a lawyer. Signs around the neighborhood. Max, please, wait for your papa. Frightened, Max stands there. Only there does Mama notice Willa. Max had forgotten her too. The girl standing against the wall, tense, fingering her stick. Who is this girl? Mama says. Why is she here? Max's brother also stare at Willa. Max doesn't know what to say. With his mother there, he's seeing how bad Willa really looks. The ragged clothes, the bare feet, her smell, all he can manage is, she's a friend. Friend? Says Mama, wrinkling her nose. What kind of friend? Why does she have that stick? Willa's jaw tightens. She wants to get out of there, but Max is blocking the door. Why is she here? Mama repeats. Save me from getting a beating, Max says. I wanted to thank her, give her some food. Mama looks at Willa as if she'd done the beating. She turns to Max. Is that blood on your face? From that plug ugly gang, says Max. He's almost crying. I told you about 'em. They're hounding Newsies. They was coming after me and he gestures towards Willa. She beat him off. But she's so dirty. Come on, Mama, cries Max. Dirt ain't people. I was the one who asked for help. She hadn't given it, I wouldn't have my money. And her name is Willa. Willa? German name. German, his mother echoes. Max, suddenly remembering his mother doesn't like Germans, quickly adds, Born in America. That's more than me. Wanting to turn Mama's talk from Willa, Max scoops his pennies from his pocket and dumps them out on the table. See? He says. Sold all my papers. Made my share. Mama barely looks at the coins. You should thank her, Max says as he divides the coins into two piles, what he needs for the next day's paper buy, and his own 11-cent profit. Grabbing a cigar box from the shelf over the stove, he shovels in most of the pennies. Mama turns back toward Willa and gives a nod. I'm sorry if I sounded so. She stops, interrupted by the sound of footsteps. It's Agnes and Papa, says Mama. Dear God, the news will kill him. She puts out a hand toward Max, whispers, Help me stand. Max helps Mama pull herself up. Once standing, she faces the doorway, trying to dry her eyes and shove back hair that keeps falling over her face, while smoothing her faded blue dress, all at the same time. Then, as the steps draw closer, she squeezes her hand together as if praying. Max's brother stays in the corner. Willa presses herself against the far shadowy wall, trying to make herself small. As for Max, he just stares at the door, hoping that his father will tell him what to do. City of the Orphans, Chapter 11. The first one to come into the door is Agnes. Thin, pale, large eyes rimmed with pink. Got a shawl round her head. Papa comes right behind. He's slightly stooped, bald, with a shaggy, tobacco-stained mustache, all of which make him look older than he is. In his hand, he's got a tin lunch pail. Everyone in the room stares at him. Takes him only a second to know something's wrong. What is it? He says. What's happened? Mama twists her hands. Emma. Emma! See what? Papa cries. Mama tries to speak but can't. Instead, she drops back into the chair, lifts her apron, covers her face, shoulders shaking, she cries. Agnes looks to Max. Max, she says, what is it? Papa also turns to him. Max says, Emma. Emma's been arrested. It's as if Papa had been struck in his chest. Goes all the cream-faced, takes a step back, drops his lunch pail with a clatter. Agnes stares. She can't speak. In the corner, the boys start crying again. Arrested? Papa gasps. But why? Though it's hard to say it, Max gets out what Mama said. Papa turns to Mama. Is that true? Mama, crying, nods. Tell me, Papa shouts. Mama starts speaking in Danish. No Danish, Mama, Agnes pleads. American. Mama gulps, swallows, tries again. A policeman came here and... Here? Cries Papa. A policeman? Said Emma stole. Great God! Cries Papa. Why would Emma do such a thing? Emma didn't steal, Max shouts. Papa looks to Mama. Did she or didn't she? Mama nods. All Papa can do is stand there and pull at his mustache. Agnes, coughing, shuts the door, yanks off her shawl so her blonde braids tumble. Clearing her throat, she sits on one of the kitchen chairs, takes up Mama's hand, squeezes them. Papa hasn't moved. He can't. Max says, Papa, what? We gotta find a lawyer. What will a lawyer do? Get Emma out of jail. Is she in jail? The Tombs. Papa looks at Mama. The gigantic prison? Mama nods. Papa, Max pleads. We gotta do something. Papa suddenly lifts a fist over his hand. Frightened, Max steps back. Mama calls out something in Danish. Papa's body sags. His hand opens, drops by his side. His body seems to shrink. In a ragged voice, he cries, Dear God, I don't know how things work here. How we going to help her? He looks round at his family's faces. Maybe Emma just picked up something by mistake. Or maybe something fell into her pocket without her knowing. These things happen. Terrible mistakes get made. Papa, Max shouts again. Emma didn't steal. No, of course not, says Papa. I didn't mean, not for a moment, but... He stands still, his breathing ragged, words sputtering. Dear God, these are hard times. Just today, we were told the factory will be closing for a time. How come? Says Max. Agnes says, they say we're making too many shoes. Can only sell them for $2. What's wrong with cheap? They can't make a profit, Agnes says. When we closed last fall, we were off for 2 weeks. It could be worse this time. In school we learned that capitalism needs profit too. Stop that talk, Papa shouts. Nothing to do with anything. Lots of factories are closing. It's what I said. Hard times. He makes a vague gesture. Panic. The room is full of silence. Papa takes a deep breath, says, I got to pay the landlord the key money this week. Merciful God, we have money. For now, but with Emma, Agnes and me, we can't miss any work. We'll need every penny. He looks to Mama. You'll go to the prison and... No, Mama cries, I can't. I know nothing of prisons. I will be afraid. I... I forget English when I'm upset. He looks around. What if I do something wrong? They might keep me there. Mama, says Agnes, they wouldn't dare. No one speaks. That's when Max says, I'll go to the Tombs.